We left off with Rifka in our last letter with her having gotten lost in the city of Antwerp and having been rescued by a milkman. And I said at the start of that previous letter that it was one of my favorites from the book. It's so sweet and so sad um, and so tender when she um, has to risk being vulnerable enough to reach out to someone in her fear, afraid that because she is a Jew, people will hate her, afraid because she is bald, people will hate her. Having been treated so badly her whole life, she doesn't understand that people will treat her with kindness. She's starting to get that. She's met Sister Katrina, she knows Marie and Gaston, but this moment with the milkman is a little transformative. It's changing for Rifka, it changes her. And so this letter picks up where the last one left off, obviously. And if you can join me on page 66, it's a couple months after um, the meeting of the milkman, and you'll see a change in Rifka. We start off with a quote from Pushkin, and I shall know some savor of elation amidst the cares, the woes, and the vexation. And so when I look at this word elation, right, to be elated means to be really happy and some excitement. And Pushkin is saying, oh, I'm going to know some happiness in the middle, in the middle of all these cares and woes and vexation. And so cares and woes are the same as being vexed, right? And we can think of ourselves today amidst these cares and these woes of being in quarantine and perhaps being vexed by the inability to get out and see friends. But we all know some savor of elation. And just like Rivka, she's going to have a moment of happiness too. And so we pick her up on July 29th, 1920, Antwerp, Belgium. Dear Tova, Antwerp is a wonderful city. The people are so kind and generous, even the children. I play with them in the park outside my room. Giselle is the name of the girl who reminds me of Hannah. She really isn't like Hannah at all, now that I've come to know her. She's more practical and solid than Hannah. She brings her ball to the park and we play catch. I have learned many bouncing rhymes, though I don't always understand what I'm singing. The children laugh at my accent, but not in a cruel way. It seems I have lived in Antwerp always. The old couple I board with, Marie and Gaston, are kind to me. They enjoy when I speak with them in Flemish. Gaston laughs and claps his hands when I tell him a story about my day. Listen to her, Marie, he crows. Is she not wonderful? I can hardly believe that it ever felt strange to me here. The bridges over the canals, the market at the Gruneplatz, the beautiful carriages and horses trotting along the streets, the cabarets and the hula dancers. They are all so familiar to me now. I wish Mama and Papa were here, the boys too, and you, Tava and Hannah and Uncle Avram and Bobe Ruth, everyone. I wish you were all here. How I would love to share this wonderful city with you. I've highlighted the word canal, so before I go on, let's just talk a moment. Antwerp is a city, I guess you could say a little like Venice, where there's a lot of water, and it's broken up by a lot of rivers that you have to cross, some canals around the city, and people move about by boat frequently. And so I just want you to picture this this kind of city, and just pay attention to that word canal as it helps you picture in your mind's eye what's taking place here. Okay, I'll continue. Not only are the people kind in Belgium, but the food is splendid. Sister Katrina and the lady from the HIAS have introduced me to so many new tastes. Almost always I eat in the market. It costs very little, so I am saving Papa's money. And the food, Tova, you wouldn't believe. There is this fruit called a banana, colored yellow, like a June sun and curved. You peel the skin off, and underneath is a white fruit so sweet and creamy. It makes even Frusela's milk seem thin by comparison. And ice cream. Oh, if the people in Berdichev could taste ice cream, they would give up eating everything else. In the afternoon, the ice cream man comes down King Street with a giant dog pulling his cart. He rings a little bell as he walks, and we crowd around him. The dog wags its tail and stands very still. I never knew such a dog and such a man. And there is chocolate. This food I found without anyone's help. Belgian chocolate. It is like biting off a little corner of heaven. Even better than Mama's pastry. May she never hear me say that. I told Sister Katrina how much I like the chocolate. Now she always has a piece for me to eat with the tea she serves after my treatment. You must eat foods that are good for you too, Rifka, she says, not just chocolate. I know, I answer, but often I eat nothing but ice cream and chocolate and bananas. See, Tova, I am a little clever. I have found one advantage to being on my own. I eat exactly as I please. Sister Katrina says the ringworm is beginning to heal. She is happy with my progress, but I can tell she worries that there is no hair yet. In Antwerp, it doesn't seem to matter that I have no hair. When I first arrived, the lady from the HIAS took me shopping. She took me to a department store and helped me choose some dresses. I needed new clothes. The Belgians fumigate all your belongings before they let you enter their country, just as the Polish do. Of course, the Belgians are far more kind in the way they treat you. But after 2 fumigations, my old clothes were falling to pieces. While I was shopping with the lady from the HIAS that first week, I saw a hat that I wanted, a hat that would cover my baldness. I thought, if I only owned such a hat, it would not matter so much that I was bald. But I did not have the money. So I started saving, and as soon as I could, I returned to the department store. I would have had I would have that hat. With that hat, I would not be ashamed of the way I look. With that hat, I could hold my head up anywhere. But when I got to the store, the hat was gone, sold to someone else. We can make you another, said the sales clerk. She took my measurements without saying a word about the scabs on my head. A new hat was made just for me. It is a black velvet with shirring. The brim has light blue velvet underneath. Now the ringworm is clearing up. I don't have to wear kerchiefs all the time. I don't have to sterilize every stitch of cloth that comes near my head. I don't have to look like a poor, needy immigrant Jew from Berdichev. I am hoping I can go to America soon. Sometimes I think I will lose my mind longing for Mama, her yeasty hands, her red-cheeked face, and Papa wrapped in his tallis, davening, his knees bent slightly, his body bobbing forward and back, praying in the gray light of dawn. I ache to smell the kindled Sabbath candles and to hear Papa and Mama's voice raised in prayer, just to hold them and be held by them once more. I miss them so much, and the way Nathan brushed my hair, how he smoothed my tangled curls more gently than Mama ever did. I miss even Saul with his big feet and his teasing. I wonder if I can learn to make ice cream when I get to America. I know it has something to do with the milk from a cow. Maybe Bube Ruth and Frusilla can go into business. The Russians don't forbid Jews to make ice cream, yet. At least, not that I know. Maybe Bube Ruth can earn enough money making ice cream. She can be well to do as you, Hannah, and Uncle Avram. If I can't get you and Bube Ruth out of the old world, maybe I can at least give to you something from the new. Shalom, my cousin, Rifka. I know, boys and girls, I didn't stop in the reading over there to look at the word shearing, and that there were a couple more words on this page that were very unique to us. Something is wonky with my highlighting feature. But obviously, going back to this highlighted word of shearing, right, it's something to do with the hat, right? So it's something to do with fabric. It is black velvet with shearing. The brim, and I know what a brim to a hat is, has light blue velvet underneath. So it's black. It's a black velvet hat. Shearing is it's hard to describe. I suppose it's a gathering of the fabric to make kind of like where you would do elastic today. So they would gather the fabric in this little to make it kind of floofy and puffy, right? So puffy sleeves might be sheared. Um, so that's just, but obviously you can tell that it has something to do with how the hat is made. And then she talks down here, and I couldn't get this word to highlight. Papa wrapped in his talus, davening, his knees bent slightly, his body bobbing forward and back, praying in the gray light of dawn. It's a lovely picture, and even though you might not have picked up on the word davening, right, you would still know that um, that it has something to do with him praying, and how she describes him bobbing back and forth, right? And really, it's literally talking about reciting some prayers, is what that word refers to. So he's saying his prayers that he's supposed to say every day. Okay. A lovely little picture. I love this part about the banana and the chocolate, and the fact that Rivka's being a little bit naughty here. We'll pick up our letter next time. You've got some work to do on these chapters, and so take a look at your booklet and answer the questions that relate to this part of the book. And I'll see you next time.